Aloha, everybody. This is Maria Benardis here, coming to you live with a new episode that I've titled Health Tips. I used to do a health and faith show many, many years ago, but now I'm coming to you with a new show titled Health Tips. If you're tuning in, listening, post a comment, let me know where you're from. I live in Honolulu, sunny Aloha, Hawaii. And this is why I have great light at the moment. So first of all, welcome to everybody. Welcome to the first show. Today, I'm going to be discussing some, key things that are coming up in the health and wellness space. And then I'm going to focus on the top hacks to reduce inflammation. And this seems to be an issue with so many people that I come across, and also many of my clients. So a special shout out to all my customers and all my partners. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting me with your health. And all of you are getting absolutely amazing results. Now, before I start, I just wanted to outline a disclaimer. Just wanted to everybody know that I'm a health and wellness coach. I'm not a doctor or a medical professional. And the information that we discuss is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. If you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have a medical condition, please consult with your physician first. Although I do work with a lot of regenerative doctors and have some that are actually brand partners with me. So for those that don't know and you're tuning in for the first time, I'm a qualified health and wellness coach. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I'm also a published author and have 3 published books, namely in ancient Greek health and wellness, which is all coming back, and of course, recipes and cooking. And my passion is healing and helping people heal. Why? Because when I was in my 20s, I was very, very sick and had a lot of lumps throughout my body. Many of them were removed. So I had one removed from my left breast. I had 3/4 of my left lung removed. I had a big one on my neck removed, and the list goes on. And basically, I didn't want to be a cancer statistic like my family, and that's where I was heading. Unfortunately, I've lost all my family to cancer, and I'm sure there's people watching this that can relate. So I made it my mission to leave my tax law profession and to heal myself, which I did, and I'm the only surviving member. And now I feel that it is my obligation and duty to go out there and help others heal. How did I do it? Using the ancient Greek ways. And this is all incorporated within what I discuss and the tips that I give. And a lot of it was really just stuff that doctors are discussing today and other coaches are discussing, but people don't know that it actually originates from ancient Greece. So if you want to say hello or you want to make a comment, please post your comments. And at the end, I will be taking questions. So if anybody wants to ask any questions, please leave those to the end. But please feel free to contribute. And I will be asking questions throughout the episode. And you might want to give me, your ideas of what you're doing. Okay, so let's launch into it. So that was a bit about me, and also just wanted to let people know my work is so successful that last year, 2023, I was actually voted the number 1 coach on the top 10 list of coaches disrupting the medical industry for a reason, because I'm able to help people find their power within and self-heal whatever it is happening. Okay, so today the first thing I'm going to do is cover what's new in the news in health and wellness, because there's so much happening, and what are the top things that are appearing in the various sort of, health publications out there, whether online or whether, basically in print form. So the first item that I wanted to let everybody know, number one, is there were some studies done with twins that linked depression to how much fruit and vegetables they ate. So I thought this was a really interesting one. So I'm just going to read what they said. So in a new international study led by the University of New South Wales, well, funnily enough, I used to do work with the University of New South Wales, and that's what really, drew my attention. So the University of New South Wales Sydney Centre for Healthy Brain Aging, so they examined the association between basically depression and how much fruit and vegetables are you having. And what they found, so the two twins, each one was eating lots of fruit and vegetables, the other one was not. And what they found is that a high intake of both fruit and vegetables was associated with lower depressive symptoms over time compared to a low intake. A moderate intake of veggies, but not fruit, was also associated with lower depressive symptoms versus low intakes. So this is absolutely amazing. And this was particularly found with adults over the age of 45, according to Dr. Annabelle Madison. So this is incredible because, as I've said many times, the ancient Greeks were predominantly vegan and vegetarian. Now, I'm not talking about the vegan version that we have nowadays with all these sort of fake meats and processed foods. No. I'm talking about fruit and vegetables cooked and used to make amazing dishes. And the fruitarians, there was people in ancient Greece that ate just fruit. And I have all this outlined in my book, Cooking and Eating Wisdom for Better Health. And what I outline there is many of them lived to over the age of 250, which was like mind-blowing to me because I'm struggling to find anybody live beyond 100. So if anybody on Facebook or YouTube knows anybody that's living, over 150 and healthy, please drop a line and give me their name because, I'm, really struggling to find anybody. So number two, there was recently in the news, and most of us have known this, but it's now been further validated. Fermented foods help promote better mental health. And let's not forget, Hippocrates in ancient Greece said all disease resides in the gut. And he also said that there was a direct connection between what's going on in your gut and your brain. So isn't that interesting that studies are validating what they were saying thousands of years ago in ancient Greece and practicing? So what are they saying? Fermented foods contain probiotics that nourish your gut, thereby promoting a healthy microbiome. Now, for those that don't know, probiotics is an ancient Greek word that means for life. And in ancient Greece, what they had as probiotics was things like sour milk. Now we can call it kefir. They had, sauerkraut, which they made freshly, and of course, Greek yogurt, which is also being found because it has all that good bacteria to help the gut. So this was really interesting what they found in the study. So what are we suggesting there? Incorporate some sort of natural probiotic into your diet or fermented foods. And that can also include miso soup. So there's so many good natural alternatives out there that you can have after a meal or before a meal. So number three. So the third item that I found that's featuring in the news is ultra-processed foods can drive your colorectal cancer risk. So very interesting, very interesting. So they're finding people that are eating processed foods and high amounts. So we're not talking about eating a little bit here and there. We're talking about the people that just kind of have it every day. And what are we talking about? Ultra processed foods. And then I'll read their findings. So we're talking things like ice cream, chips, sodas, cookies, all those sort of sweets loaded with cancer. So, so really what they're saying is if you're loading up with a lot of those, and a lot of them have a lot of sugar or high corn fructose syrup, what's happening is they prevent the body from combating the cancer. So they're really adding inflammation into the body, is another way of looking at it, and why I'm discussing the topic that I'm discussing today. So, so cancer is like a chronic wound that won't heal. If your body is living off a daily ultra-processed food diet, its ability to heal that wound decreases. So this is Dr. Timothy Yeatman, professor of surgery in the University of South Florida. So we are getting more and more information about different foods and different things that are basically causing chronic illness. And the number one is inflammation. And what this doctor also says, inflammation is the body's natural response to illness or injury. Isn't that interesting? And, you know, I will give you what my definition is later on. And it also says it can be caused by poor diet, physical inactivity, disrupted sleep, stress, obesity, and it can damage DNA over time. Now, let me tell you, it also damages your cells. So your cells and your DNA are the two most important things that you need to be healthy for optimum health and not to have any sort of illness. And that includes pain as well. So number 4, lifestyle choices are sabotaging male fertility. Male fertility. So this is a really big issue. And I have had male clients come to me with this issue, indeed, and also issues with their sperm and all sorts, you know, testosterone, all sorts of things like that. So what they found in this study is fertility rates among males are dropping today, and studies say certain lifestyle factors are contributing to this trend. Simple lifestyle adjustments will help improve your reproductive health. So we are going to discuss everything that we're going to discuss today about inflammation, lends and helps with this particular issue as well. So, you know, research indicates that these factors lead to hormonal imbalances. So there's lots of people with their hormones out of balance, both male and female. It's not just a female issue, it's also a male issue. Oxidative stress, which damage sperm quality. So there we go. And another thing they did say is also EMF exposure, which we're surrounded by, Wi-Fi, mobile phone, and so on, also is linked to DNA fragmentation in sperm, reducing motility and viability. So this is very interesting. So this is one of the environmental factors around us that also causes inflammation in our body. So, you know, so for example, they do suggest some lifestyle changes, and that is reducing oxidative stress, and so on. But we're going to go into detail because the whole inflammation of what I'm talking about today is all about also reducing oxidative stress. So it ties in. Now, the 5th item that I'm going to be choosing each week is going to feature either a fruit and vegetable, so that we can discover how it benefits us and our health. And I'm just going to give you some cooking tips because I also happen to be, you know, an award-winning chef, an award-winning cookbook author. So we're going to feature leeks. And I have to tell you, leeks are one of the most underrated superfoods. We tend to go for onions, green onions. We tend to go for garlic. But, you know, we forget about the leeks. And, you know, the ancient Greeks loved leeks. And I, you know, will give you some cooking tips in a minute of how I incorporated and how I substituted, for example, with onions and garlic sometimes. So did you know that 1 cup of serving of leeks contains very low calories, about 31. So, but yet it has a lot of nutrition. So it has vitamin C, it has vitamin A, vitamin B9, copper, and all sorts of other nutrients. Now, copper to me is a big one because what I'm finding with a lot of my clients and just a lot of people that I speak to that are not my clients is they do have a copper deficiency and they think it's an iron deficiency. Well, if you have an iron deficiency, usually it's because you're not getting any copper. So please make sure you're getting enough copper in your diet. We have lovely comments. So please put your little comments in there. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for everybody on Facebook and YouTube that has joined me. This will be a weekly show. And again, at the end, you get to ask me whatever questions you want. And I'm here to help support you and answer them. So how do I incorporate leeks into my diet? Of course, when they're in season, because they're a seasonal vegetable. As I said before, I like to substitute onions and garlic for leeks. Sometimes when the recipe calls for it, I actually like to saute some leeks and get them golden brown and then beat some eggs, with some oregano, salt and pepper and make a nice omelette, leek omelette. It's absolutely delicious. So, maybe try that as your next omelette. I like to, again, toss them in my soups. We're all making a lot of soups at the moment. So I'm putting pumpkin and leeks and making a soup and then using an immersion blender and getting a nice silky smooth soup there. So there's so many ways that you can actually incorporate this beautiful, humble vegetable. So if anybody has just joined us on Facebook or YouTube that's new, please feel free to say quick hello, tell me where you're from. And please feel throughout the show as I'm speaking. If you want to add more tips to what I'm saying, and I will ask questions and encourage that, please feel free. This show is all about you. So I hope you found that helpful. And if anybody wants to say anything, yes, I found it helpful, put yes. And that way I know I'm on the right track. Okay, so today's topic is all about inflammation. And of course, we saw a study where inflammation is causing issues. We're seeing it causing issues in men, with their sperm, with their testosterone. We saw, inflammation being a difference in an issue as far as how much fruit and vegetables one twin ate as opposed to another. So why does inflammation get created in our body? So basically, your immune system will create inflammation to protect your body from infection, injury, or disease. So really, it's your body's natural reaction that is trying to protect you. So it's trying to safeguard you. So if you look at it that way, inflammation is actually not a bad thing. What is probably not positive is that we don't pick it up and listen to our body when it tells us it's inflamed to do something to manage it or to eliminate it. Okay, we're never going to 100% eliminate it, and you're going to find out why as I go through some of the factors that are causing it. And that way you'll say, oh, yeah, I'd have to close myself up in my house and not go out, which I'm not recommending. So that's what it is. Now, what does inflammation do? When there's inflammation that's not being addressed, it attacks your healthy cells. And as was alluded to earlier on, it damages your DNA. Now, you need a healthy DNA and you need healthy stem cells. If you don't, what happens? You age quicker. And not only do you age quicker, but you also then start to develop, when there's too much, a disease or certain symptoms. So what are some of the symptoms that people are encountering that's saying, hey, you've got chronic inflammation and you need to do something about it. So you usually get these before you get the chronic illness, such as cancer, diabetes, and all of that. Okay, so it's your body telling you something's going on, help me, before it gets the actual illness. And what are some of these? I've got a list that I've compiled that I've noticed also with my clients. And it was like, okay, well, we need to manage this inflammation now before it gets out of hand and it turns into something we don't want it to turn into. So body pain is one thing. So if someone, excuse me, is experiencing pain, constant fatigue, insomnia, not being able to sleep, depression, anxiety, mood disorders, like consistently stressed. I'm not talking about occasionally be stressed, but it just seems to be recurring and you're also exhausted. So any sort of gut issues, in addition to that, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, that is inflammation that needs to be addressed. Weight gain, frequent infections or frequently getting colds or the flu, joint pain, swelling, stiffness, loss of joint function, and again, we said gut issues, but I want to add to that bloating. Very important. If you're getting a lot of bloating all the time, okay, maybe once in a while it might be, gluten intolerance, which is really the toxins that they use that causes that. But if it's happening all the time, then, that needs to be investigated. And if you don't, those things that I just said that you may have then develop into something more serious, such as diabetes, such as cancer. So all those illnesses and those words that doctors have created are as a consequence because people, when they got these symptoms, didn't think it was anything seriously. And then, unfortunately, it developed into something worse. Okay, so very important to be listening to our body every day and just paying attention and really looking in the mirror and seeing, if there's something there that wasn't there before. And another common one that I find is a rash. So sometimes if you're on a detox program, of course you're going to might get a rash. But if you're getting rashes and you're not detoxing, well, that's telling me you have some inflammation and it's coming out on your skin, and it's your skin saying, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention to me, do something. Okay. And usually people try to put a cream on the rash. Well, that's not going to do anything. Really, you need to address it from the inside out to address that inflammation. So something needs to enter the body inside to actually deal with that, because outside is just a Band-Aid solution. Now, so when we're looking at inflammation, we can actually term it something differently. So you will hear some doctors and health and wellness coaches saying to you, your body is too acidic, okay, too much acid. That is the same thing as high inflammation. You may hear some health and wellness coaches like myself say, your body is vibrating very low. That's the way the ancient Greeks used to say it. So they used to say, when you're high vibration, you're healthy. When you're low vibration, that's when illness and when things are happening in your body that are not very positive. So that's really the symptoms of, basically the alarm bells ringing to tell you inflammation, be careful. Well, what are some of the causes of inflammation? So what's causing this to happen? So I know I've got these symptoms. It's definitely inflammation, because that's how all disease starts. Inflammation first. The body's inflamed. It's on fire, and it's saying, cool me down, cool me down. It's too acidic, and it's saying, get me alkaline, get me back. Or it's too low vibration, and it's saying, lift my vibrational frequency so I can come into harmony. All of that means the same. So, definitely if someone's got some chronic illness or acute condition, they definitely have inflammation. There's certain medications that cause inflammation, and many of them you can actually buy at your local CVS or local chemist, but they don't have on the label that it causes inflammation. So it's always good If you're on any medication, that you discuss it with your doctor and say, how much inflammation is this causing? And that way you can adjust your diet to try and negate and balance that inflammation. So the exposure to our outside environment has a lot of things that are inflammatory. So what am I talking about? I'm walking in the street, and there's the cars, the fumes and everything that comes out of the cars is actually causing inflammation because, we're breathing it in. What you're eating, a lot of foods that we're eating, such as processed foods, and I will go into that in greater detail at the next point, are causing that, and so much more. So we're going to get into a bit of the detail here now. So that is some of the conditions. So pretty much, stress, anything that does not bring us happiness and joy, also by way of emotions, is actually increasing inflammation and contributing to inflammation. So it's a mind, body, spirit approach, as the ancient Greeks said. So what are my top 6 hacks to manage or minimize inflammation? But before I go into that, is there anybody here that wanted to put something in the chat about, any conditions that they know or anything they think could be causing inflammation, other than what I just said? And before I launch in, please put it on the chat, in the comments or the chat, whatever, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook, it will depend. And let us know what you're doing. So start putting your comments about what you're doing to minimize inflammation, because I'm just about to go through my top 6 hacks, but I would be interested to know, what are you doing to reduce inflammation? And then I will read some of those out. So please feel free to put them on now, and I'll read them later. All right, so what are my top 6 hacks for managing and minimizing inflammation? Because as I said before, we're not going to get rid of inflammation 100%, because we are constantly being bombarded every single day by our environment, by our food, with toxins that are bringing inflammation back into our life. So number 1 is eat and drink mindfully. So as Hippocrates, the ancient Greek, said, who was the father of medicine, as we all know, let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food. So what do I have to say about that? Eat wherever possible certified organic foods. Why? Because they don't have as much chemicals and pesticides, because chemicals, pesticides, food colorings, all these additives, natural flavors, natural colors, all of them are toxic and they inflame your body. Okay, so that leads into processed foods. Processed foods are inflammatory. So what I'm saying is limit these types of processed foods, and try and have more of the healthier fruit and vegetables. Limit your coffee. Coffee causes inflammation. So, you don't need to have 10 cups a day. Have one. Filter your water. They put a lot of toxins in that cause inflammation. And of course, limit your alcohol. And I know it's a little bit difficult because we're going into the festive season, but again, you can have that glass of wine or whatever, but then you can do things to actually reduce that inflammation that you're putting in. So what are the particular types of foods that really inflame your body that we really need to pay attention to? And the first one I'd like to say is sugar. So a lot of these fake sugars, white sugars, are not good for you. So you may want to substitute with coconut sugar, date sugar, honey, maple syrup. So go more natural. And of course, stevia is good, but be careful. A lot of the stevia on the shelf has been blended. So we must read the labels. refined carbohydrates. So this is your white breads, your white flours, and things like that. They cause inflammation. So try and choose whole grains and whole grain type of flours. Alcohol, which we've already mentioned, alcohol, my goodness me, adds so much inflammation to the body. And this is where a lot of the aging, of course, happens. Processed meats and processed foods, which I mentioned earlier on. Again, I'm not saying eliminate them all. What I'm saying is minimize. Trans fats, microwave foods. There's so much more. But if you go to my website, I have a blog that I've written, and it's called Eating a High Vibrational Food Diet, because that's what the ancient Greeks called it. You could reword that to say eating an anti-inflammatory diet. And I have two columns: what's high vibration, what's low. So we're looking at that low column of my blog and saying need to eat as less as possible of that column. So what foods help manage to reduce and minimize inflammation? So I've got a complete list here that I'm just going to read. And if you know of any that are not on this list, feel free to drop them in the chat. So foods like fruits, vegetables, and again, certified organic wherever possible, or choose the ones that are on the EWG top 15 that you can buy conventional, because they have the minimal pesticides and chemicals on them. So have a look at those lists that the Economic Working Group puts out. They're amazing. And I always get my clients onto those. And they also have a list of the 15 dirtiest, as they call it, the dirty dozen, sorry, not 15, dirty dozen. And they're the ones that you would definitely have to buy certified organic, because they have so many toxins and all of that. So here we go. Here are some foods that are very good for you and reduce inflammation. Berries, fatty fish, broccoli, avocados, green tea, which I love, peppers, mushrooms, grapes, turmeric. Oh my goodness me. So what are we talking about here? Anything that's as close as possible to nature as God created it to be. Okay, the moment they start doing something with it and messing with it, it starts to develop inflammation. So my number one hack is eat and drink mindfully. So that's that one there. Now so some more things. Sorry, over the page that you can have is extra virgin olive oil, dark chocolate, which I love. Make sure it doesn't have a lot of sugar, cacao, tomatoes, cherries, and again, stressing organic wherever possible, and stick to the EWG lists that get released on their website every year, and stick to what they say. As far as dirty dozen, must have certified organic. The other ones that have the least pesticides and chemicals, okay, you can get away with eating those. So what's my number two hack? So my number two is, did you know that your thoughts cause inflammation? So whatever you're thinking at this moment, or you thought yesterday or the day before or earlier on in the day, whether it comes from a place of love or joy or from a place that's not from love or joy, will cause inflammation. So if you're feeling jealousy, anxious, depressed, fearful, angry, all those emotions unfortunately cause inflammation. So very important that we become aware of what we're thinking and aware of what we're saying, so that we can minimize the damage and anything else that this is causing to our body, because it's causing inflammation. So I know people that are eating an amazing diet in terms of the food that they eat. However, they're then thinking toxic thoughts all the time, and they're in fear. And guess what? They get sick. And they're like, but Maria, I'm eating really well. Why am I getting sick? Well, we have to work together to take care of the mind. How can we do that? Affirmations is a good thing. So anytime you get a negative thought, affirm something positive. So if you're stressed about money, you can turn around and say, I'm abundant. I'm financially successful. So you got to try and reverse program that mind. So very important, better management of our thoughts. Number 3, did you know that the products you're using on your body and around your house, whether it be the washing detergent, surface cleaner, whether it be your toothpaste, whether it be your moisturizer, most of that stuff has toxins in it. And the largest organ is your skin. That the skin absorbs the most toxins. So when you're walking around and there's fumes, your skin's absorbing it. When you're putting moisturizers on, your skin's absorbing it. When you're spraying things around the house, your skin's absorbing it. If you're putting those fake things on the wall that diffuse smell, which are really toxic, well, that's causing inflammation. So all these things are causing inflammation. So I use products that are certified organic, and I buy them from a very small, beautiful family-owned company, and they make everything for babies, for body, for cleaning, for washing, and whatever else. And if anybody's interested in knowing what that is, on Facebook, message me, and I'll send you a link to them, or you can put a comment on YouTube. And also on the YouTube video, I have my email address, so you could just shoot me an email and I'll email you back. So that was number 3. And a lot of people forget about that. Also, your shampoo and conditioner. Oh, my God. And it's the closest thing to your brain. And that's why a lot of people suffer from depression and a lot of, mental related illnesses. A lot of it does have to do with the shampoo and conditioner, and amongst other things, that is causing inflammation. Number 4, which I alluded to before, is your environment. So what are we talking about? So it's not just when I'm walking and I'm smelling smoke or someone's smoking. Smoking is not a good thing, or smelling their smoke. You're taking it in and it is contributing to your inflammation. But I'm also talking about being around toxic people. So what do I mean by that? So I go to a party, and then someone comes to talk to me and they start complaining about their whole life and how terrible life is and how horrible that person is. Well, listening to gossip or listening to toxic conversations like that, do you know that it brings your immune system down? And when your immune system's going down, it's causing inflammation in the body. So really, we need to minimize those kind of conversations and minimize those kind of encounters. We want to be having happy conversations and be around happy people. And who doesn't have toxic people in their life? Oh, my goodness me, I had so many. And what I've done is I had to let go of some of them. And that actually included family members, believe it or not, because it was just getting too much, too overwhelming. And the conversations were the same: complain, complain, complain. So environment, we're talking about a lot of things: what we're inhaling, what we're listening to. And also, let's not forget, a lot of the things around our house are toxic. So a lot of the plastics, they make a lot of things with plastics and, fake, ingredients, processed metals and processed this and processed that. Paint is another one. So be very careful. When you paint your house, you're actually inhaling that paint for the life of the house. So all these affect us. And sometimes we don't even think about these things and that they're doing anything to us. But yes, they are. They're actually inflaming our body. So number 5 is lack of sleep and lack of movement. So very important, when you're sleeping, when you're resting, this is the time when your body is fighting infection, working at reducing and fighting inflammation. It's actually working to repair your DNA and to actually repair your cells. This is the time when it does it. If you're not getting enough sleep, that process is not happening, and also your body is not detoxing. So very, very important that we are getting, a good night's sleep and, resting when our body needs the rest. And also walking is really important, or any type of movement. I try and walk at least 30 minutes a day. Why? Because when I'm walking, I'm also helping flush out the toxins, and exercise helps to reduce stress, which reduces inflammation, because stress equals inflammation, amongst many other things. And I have a quote here from the father of medicine, Hippocrates, and he said, if we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. And I totally agree with that. So that ties in with my point number one. And number six, number six is in my gold box. In my gold box. So this is a very, very special thing that I use every day to detox. So it does the detoxing for me, and it reduces inflammation at an affordable price. It does not cost thousands of dollars. And what it does is it actually speeds up at reducing the inflammation more than eating, say, 100 pounds of strawberries or 100 pounds of all that other food. So what that does is it does it at a quicker speed, and is especially beneficial for anybody that's suffering any of the things that I said above, whether it was gut issues, whether it's pain, joint pain, or whatever else. You clearly have a lot of inflammation. So just having fruit and vegetables is not going to deal with it 100%. So if you want to know what I use and what's in that box, message me in Messenger. For anybody watching this on Facebook, message me in Messenger and ask me what's in the gold box for inflammation, and I will give you all the information you need. And if anybody's watching it on YouTube, in the description of this video, there is my email address. You will do the same. You will email me and you will ask me what is the secret of what you're using to reduce inflammation and at the same time detox my body. So it does, a couple of things and more. Okay, so that's what I had in terms of dealing with inflammation. If anybody has got anything else that they would like to share on Facebook or YouTube, don't be shy. Please put it in the comments, and I'd be happy to share your comment of what you're doing. And, pop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And really, if anybody would like me to answer any questions, please feel free to put those in the comments and I will answer them for you. So, another purpose of this show, which will be weekly, is for me to actually help you and answer your questions and give you guidance and support in the right direction. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm not seeing any from Facebook yet, and I'm not seeing any from YouTube. So maybe everybody's a little bit shy. It is a little bit. It is before the festive season, and a lot of us are also exhausted. So as I talk, please feel free if you want to put in any there. So each episode in the future, I'll be dealing with a different area of topics. If you have any suggestions of what you'd like me to talk about, please feel free. Again, on YouTube, my email address is in the description to email me with suggestions. Or if you're on Facebook, you can actually put in the comments a suggestion of an area or a topic you would like to see me talk about in the future, or you can send me a message through Messenger on Facebook. So the next episode, which will be on the 7th of January, because we've got the beautiful holiday season coming, and everybody will be very busy, and I don't want to be doing a show on New Year's Eve. I don't think anybody will be watching that one because everybody will be too busy celebrating, rightly so. So on the 7th of January will be the next episode, and I'm going to be talking about how to lose 5 pounds quickly. And we're all going to need that, given that we're all going to be eating so much food and enjoying ourselves. And hey, it is the festive season. Why not? And again, after the festive season, you will be doing those tips that I said to reduce inflammation, because, weight gain is the body's response to inflammation. And as it says on the scrolling screen, health is wealth. Self-care is the new healthcare. That's how they did it in ancient Greece, and many lived to beyond 250. And I look forward to the day till we can live beyond 250. And remember, you deserve the best health in your life and the best life. And that's what I'm here for, to help people and help my clients, and the general public, not just my clients, really to achieve their optimum health and really to achieve their best life and, pursue their passion, dreams, and mission, whatever that is. All right, everybody. I can't see that there's any questions there. We're getting a little bit shy on the first episode. That's okay. No worries. Pop on to the next show on the 7th of January, Tuesday. It will be the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll put an alert on Facebook and I'll put an alert on YouTube to let everybody know. On closing, I just want to wish everybody happy holidays. May they be filled with love, agape, as I say, unconditional love, and everything your heart desires. And just hug everybody, share love, and just be the best version of yourself that you can be. Mahalo for watching, and God bless you all.